It doesn't matter what they change the name to. They'll always be irrelevant. They'll always be the Washington nobodies. They'll always be the team that didn't go to an NFC Championship game in almost 30 years. The Washington Redskins need to change the name now. They need to change the name forever. Maybe that'll spark a winning culture. Why does Dan Snyder want to hold on to this name? Because he thinks, oh, we did so much and so much history that goes with this name. And there's a lot of losing that go with it too. A lot of losing that go with it in the modern NFL. You guys are nobody right now. Change the name and maybe things will start to change for you. Change it. How about this? The Washington, blank. Just leave it blank until you do something. We don't care what your name is. Y'all finna be the Bobcats. Y'all about to be whatever we call y'all. Cause y'all are nothing but a stepping stone to us pummeling the rest of the NFL. No matter what your name is, no matter what your uniform is, I'll tell you what, DC, I'll tell you what, go out there right now and make sure y'all buy the last of this merch because y'all about to have a funny name. And we gonna love it. We gonna love it. We gonna absolutely love it. You disrespect the Native Americans like this for years, it's time to change it. The name got a skin and the name got a color in it. It's offensive. I can't wait to see the name gone. The name ain't bothered me anyway. You know what I mean? The name don't mean nothing because the name ain't attached to winning. The name is attached to losing.
Yeah. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen, man, at this point in the season, you got to start to wonder, you know what I mean? What are the major holes left for the Philadelphia Eagles? What are some of the must-do tasks that have to be done in order for us to have a successful season? Now, on paper, in my opinion, like I said time and time again this offseason, I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be 11-5. But a lot of things got to happen for us to be 11-5 or better. Chemistry has to be developed with the wide receivers, the new acquisitions. Some guys are returning off injury to have to, get some time under their belt. You know what I mean? Matt Pryor has to show that he's ready to take over Brooks' spot, which ain't no easy thing to do. Brooks is amongst the best in the game. And you know what I mean? There's a couple guys that I personally want to see something from. You know what I mean? I want to see something. I want to, I was looking up Nikel Roby-Coleman today, man. I was looking up some of his highlights and stuff like that. And I absolutely believe that dude is a genius at the slot position. You know what I mean? I think Bleeding Green Nation had an article out saying that he was top 5 slot guys in the NFL. I gotta agree with that, man, based upon what I saw. If you go back to the Rams and the Patriots Super Bowl where the Rams beat them and the Patriots offense was really, really stagnant, and the Rams offense was stagnant as well. Jared Goff looked like a rookie in that game. Nikel Roby-Coleman might have been the best player on the field for the Rams. He might have been the best player on the field for the Rams, man. He was everywhere. I mean, he kind of forced an interception in that game. He also was tackling Edelman in the backfield. This is the thing about the slot. Our slot cornerback position is in my position, in my opinion, one of the positions that I think we really needed to upgrade. We had a big void in the slot once we lost Patrick Robinson, in that offseason when we won the Super Bowl. And a lot of these guys who are, amongst the best in wide receiver in the NFL can move from the outside to the slot. And the Dallas Cowboys actually just got CeeDee Lamb, who's going to play a lot in the slot. So we need guys that's going to be able to come in and shut good slot receivers down. You know what I mean? And I think Nikel Roby-Coleman is up for the task. Malik Jackson. I want to see a lot from Malik Jackson. I want to see what he got to bring to the table. You know what I mean? He was a huge offseason acquisition for us last year. Didn't get to play. As was Deshaun Jackson. Didn't get to play. I'm excited about Jalen Reagor. I'm excited about, the rookies that we have. You know what I mean? One of the big advantages that I think we have is Doug Peterson. You know what I'm saying? Darius Slay. We got some guys now that we can compete with anybody on a football field. You know what I'm saying? The Philadelphia Eagles have to be looking. They have to be looking to this season with just just feeling really good, and the fact that that we were able to address a lot of our needs. We were able to do what we had to do. A lot of people are very critical over the wide receivers that we picked and the amount of wide receivers that we picked, but that don't make no sense to us because we know what we need. On the outside looking in, nobody can really tell the Philadelphia Eagles what was lacking for them. You know what I mean? We watch our games every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? When other guys are watching their team's games, they're not clicking back and forth to see the strengths and the weaknesses of the Philadelphia Eagles. Because I'll tell you what, when the Eagles come on at 1 o'clock, I'm not really looking to see what nobody else doing. I can recap it and I can do X, Y, and Z, but us getting up many wide receivers made sense, which is why it was done. You know what I'm saying? And everybody not going to make the roster. And you know what, man, a good point that was brought up, I think it was Bad Dog who told me this, or it might have been Louis T, yesterday in our live stream, the beginning part before you guys saw it, that, preseason is really going to hinder a lot of these guys from getting some good tape out. You know what I mean? That's a really good point. Preseason, and they're already talking about cutting 2 preseason games. I think you have to do it due to COVID, but preseason is really going to be something that holds a lot of people back from getting that sturdy tape out. What if guys only play 1 game in preseason? You know what I mean? What if they only play 1 game in preseason? You only got 1 game to put your best foot forward. You might not make the team that you're playing for in preseason, but somebody's going to be intrigued by your tape. You know what I mean? And 2 games ain't enough, but it is what it is. I think the NFL should do something like this. I think you should, still have the 4 games. But if you ain't planning on suiting up, you shouldn't even be at the stadium. I don't think any preseason games they should be selling tickets for preseason games. It should be referees, and it should be the players. And it should be a mix of coaches. You don't need Doug Peterson on the sideline for a preseason game. You don't need him there. Now, you can have him probably in the rafters looking like at the scouting combine. You can have the coaches sitting, good distances away from each other in the stands. That should be the only people in the stands, coaches. The ones that are calling plays and evaluating talent, those should be the guys on the field. Like what Deuce could head coach some of these games. Deuce could call some plays for some of these games. You know what I'm saying? You got all these coordinators and stuff like that. This is where they come into play. You don't need to have the whole coaching staff there. You just don't. You don't need to have people there on the sideline if they're not suiting up. It just don't need to happen. This way, you give these guys an opportunity to get some tape out there and, just to see, who wants them. Because we got a lot of guys to evaluate ourselves. I mean, on the top of the list for me is, I really like Hightower. I like Manasseh Bailey. I like Killins. I like Warren. Listen, man, it's a lot of guys that we got to get a really good look at because a lot of these guys might be able to make our roster. You know what I mean? Davion Taylor, some guys are a lock in my opinion, but you got guys that you need to get a look at. Preseason is going to be huge for guys like Killins, Adrian Killins. Preseason is going to be huge for guys like Manasseh Bailey. Preseason is going to be huge. You know what I mean? It's going to be huge for a lot of guys. And I think that, it's going to hurt a lot of guys too. A lot of guys aren't going to be able to show their full potential, which is going to make coaches have to go into the direction of just playing people out of faith, in my opinion. This is going to be a tricky one. If there is a season and the way that it's looking with the preparation, I think a lot of teams that will have the advantage this season are teams that are returning with the same head coach, or teams that are returning with the same philosophy. You know what I mean? And we got that advantage in the NFC East. We're coming back to this thing with a top 5 coach who's been there with us for a couple years now, and we understand what he wants. We understand his mindset. We understand how he calls games. You know what I mean? That's huge for us. We're coming back with the same quarterback. A lot of these guys are coming back with a lot of different stuff. And, we just got to see how that pan out, man. But let me know what y'all think in the comments about the preseason situation. Let me know what y'all think about Nicole Roby-Coleman as well, man.